A few weeks ago, I challenged Marc Mozart to a mixed duel, and I wasn't expecting him to accept it, and I actually respect what he does and didn't. I know why he doesn't want to do it, and I don't fault him for that at all. It's the mixed duel thing is a joke anyway. But anyway, he was kind enough to, first of all, take it as a joke, which it was. Secondly, he sent me a copy of his new book, Your Mix Sucks, Waves Edition. And I have read through about, I would say, 3/4 of the book, and I skimmed through the rest of it, and I definitely recommend it. First of all, the 1 year of mixed feedback is worth the price of admission alone. And then there's a chapter towards the end that talks about business-client relationships. That chapter also is worth the price of admission alone. And then you have the workflow enhancements, which I learned a little bit from and will be incorporating into my own work. So these three things alone, plus there's a few other things I'm leaving out because I want them to be a surprise to you all. And no, I'm not going to really include anything in the book per se, but I will say that he goes through and gives a little bit of history lessons. He talks about analog hardware emulation plugins. He goes through a very big list of Waves plugins in a bonus chapter. The main thing though is that he takes it as an overall approach towards mixing, a systematic approach towards mixing, and a big emphasis on mix prep and gain staging, which are two principles I talk about on this channel. I don't talk about it enough, but absolutely those basics are essential to every mix. Otherwise, you're going to screw something up. Now, not everything about the book is great. I do believe that in some cases, the tips are out of order. For example, he said this towards the end with saving your project file early and often. And that's something I think that should have been closer to the front of the book. Another thing is that the details are left out in later chapters. The early chapters were an excellent start. I thought that's how the rest of the book was going to go, and then it derailed. And all that being said, though, I still recommend the book because I think that for advanced beginners, I think that's who this book is aimed at the most. Although people who are intermediate or even at my level can learn things from it, I do believe that this book is not geared toward absolute beginners. If you're an absolute beginner, I don't recommend getting this book, but for the advanced beginner, so maybe somebody who's just done their first EP, maybe after their first mix in general, or maybe they're after their first album that they've tried to mix and they weren't happy with that, which I think that's most of us are not going to be happy. Actually, I'll just say all of us. You know, our first mixes, they're good for the time, but then you look back at them and they're like, I would have did this differently. So everybody's like that. So for the advanced beginner, this book is perfect, but I'll definitely recommend it really at all levels, but particularly for that sector of the engineering community. But like I said, just for the 1 year of mixed feedback alone, that's worth it. There's also an emphasis on what type of speaker to use. I think that's very, very valuable information. And if I say anything else, I'll give away too much of the book, and I'll just leave it at that. Definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the video description and in the top comment as usual. So thanks for watching this video, guys. If you like it, hit the thumbs up button, and I have a bunch of other links on the sides here. More book reviews are coming.